training camp, but I always tell people I was in the league for 13 years, so I did go through training camp. But for me personally, I think it's for everybody to get together. But it's hot. You're in a closed space. You're getting to know guys and stuff like that. But from a standpoint, you had everything you needed there, but just the fact that you didn't have all of the minutes that you're used to as a professional guy, and you got to make those things work. But you're only there to train and get ready for the season.
Hall of Famer Walter Jones joining us on the program yesterday, talking about the days when he used to report to training camp and how difficult it was. And there were times when Big Walt held out. He made comments about his teammates giving him a hard time every time he held out at camp. But, when you're a veteran at some point, you don't like getting to camp in July. You want to show up, at the end of August and get ready for a game.
Man, I'm trying to save as many days as I can that I don't have to be out there in that hot weather with that uniform on. If I don't have to be out there and they're going to give me an opportunity to hold out, I'm holding out too.
All right, the rookies start to report to NFL training camps next week. The Seahawks rookies report a week from tomorrow. Let's bring in former Seahawk Dave Wyman of Seattle Sports 710. 10 years in the NFL, 5 with the Seahawks in the late 80s and early 90s, and also the co-host of Seahawks Central. The guy does it all. I don't know how he has time to jump on this show, but we appreciate him coming on. Thanks, Dave. Good to see you.
Anything for you, Sylvie. Because when you bring me on, you always round my career number up from 9 to 10. Made a nice, easy, even number. But yeah, I wasn't like Walt. Walt did not need to go to camp. Walt could walk off the fishing boat and start in the NFL, start a game, and be just fine. So I needed that extra work. So I told my agent, I don't hold out of training camp. And Walt did almost every single time, and it worked out perfectly fine for him because I think he gave up like 1 sack every 2.5 years or something.
Yeah, I always throw this out there, but the one stat I love about Walt is he had just 9 holding penalties in those 12 or 13 years in the NFL. That's quick feet, not having to make up with your hands grabbing guys. So
that just means that he's a little bit more sly than most players. Walt was holding plenty. But that's coming from a defensive guy, right?
That's right. Hey, listen, with Seahawks rookies reporting to camp next Friday and the veterans a week after on July 24th, what do you remember about this time of year, Dave, as a player? A week or two from reporting to camp, are you conditioning, eating right? What's the level of excitement for you?
Well, first of all, I always had high blood pressure numbers whenever I came back in and they gave the physical, because I was always so excited. I couldn't wait to see my teammates, and really a lot of those guys, we didn't have cell phones and things like that, so we didn't really keep in touch. So it was kind of like a bit of a reunion. But really what it was like is, when on a roller coaster ride where they lock that bar over your chest and you're like, okay, I'm in it, man, and I'm not gonna step outside of it until hopefully next February, in the middle of next February. So yeah, it was one of those things that I never, during the bye weeks, I never wanted to sample anything that seemed like the off season. Once the season starts, it's like you're in for all the misery, the excitement, the being tired, hot, sweaty, all that, banged up, and that's just kind of what it felt like to me. And I was always really excited when camp started.
Dave, fall camp is a little bit different from a seasoned veteran than it is for a rookie. So what do you remember about your first camp, your rookie camp?
I took on, Terry, there were times where, when we played San Jose State, they had a 245-pound center, and I weighed 235, so he wasn't much of a challenge. I was in a one-on-one blocking drill one of my first days against a 320-pound guard. And afterwards, I went home and called my mom and said, I think I might be coming home. But yeah, it was just so different than college, and everybody is better than you. Everybody is a tremendous athlete. It was just a big transition going from that. I graduated from Stanford, I got drafted. Things were moving really fast for me. And then they got Brian Bosworth in the supplemental draft. and who was kind of my nemesis because he played linebacker and kind of pushed me to the side. And they made us roommates, which I thought was particularly cruel for them to do that. But then we became good friends. But yeah, my rookie year was just all kinds of up and down. Later on in the year, I got traded. I got traded to the 49ers, went down there, failed the physical. They sent me back. We went on strike. I mean, it was like everything up and down. Like I mentioned, the roller coaster couldn't have been more extreme in 1987, my rookie year. So that's kind of what, I mean, I got pretty much a taste of everything during that year, whether it was injuries, getting traded, all those things. So yeah, it's a rough go, when you're coming from college into the pros and everybody, like I said, is better than you.
That's some serious trial by fire. Well, the vets report 2 weeks from tomorrow. Leonard Williams going into his 12th NFL season, also going to a final year of a contract. NFL executives ranked Leo as the #1 overall defensive tackle in the game. What makes him so good?
He's so versatile, and I saw that this morning, and I was really thrilled for him and for the Seahawks, just because I feel like we've been getting nothing but disrespected as far as, all these types of things going. But that guy he is a really revolutionary type of player. He's so huge, and he has such good moves, and he has real quickness, and he's 32, and so that's the thing. Honestly, I looked that up today because I wasn't quite sure if he was like in his late 20s, but he looks as fast as ever. So the other thing I would say about him is he is terrifying, okay, especially to offensive linemen. When we were in Green Bay for that joint practice, there was a kind of a dust up where guys were getting mad at each other. And for whatever reason, Leonard Williams' fire got lit. And I was standing like maybe 10 feet away from him, and he, like you could tell, he saw red, and he was going to kill somebody. And he was yelling at one of their other players, and I was standing like pretty close to him. It was terrifying. I'm like, you would not want that guy mad at you ever. And he's never mad. He's always just a super nice guy. But he is just such a great player, such a versatile player. I mean, he's exactly what you want on the inside. And that guy can rush off the edge, and that's why John Schneider got him in midseason a couple of years ago. He said, this guy can play anywhere, whether it's like a wide 9 rushing off the edge or play, head up over the center. So just a versatile player who's just a monster and a great athlete.
Hey, listen, you bring up joint practices. I mean, back in the 80s, was that a big deal? And if not, did you ever have to compete in a joint practice? And what is your opinion about these joint practices when teams get together like that?
Yeah, actually, we had a scrimmage with the Oilers that was in the Tacoma Dome. That was my rookie year in 1987. And so, rookie year, I didn't really know what it was all about and, whether it was valuable or not. But then later on when I was in Denver, we had a joint practice with the Arizona Cardinals. And I think it's really useful, especially for the coaches. Because, I always say this, when you go into a preseason game, once you start that game, it goes the way it goes. Like you might not get a chance to work on short yardage defense or goal line defense or, might not kick many field goals or whatever. When you go in those joint practices, the two coaches get together and they're like, hey, we can get lots of work done here because we're going to run, 15, 20 plays on the goal line. And then we're going to do this and that. And, they can practice every aspect of what goes into the season. So that's why I think it's such it's a big hassle, having to move all the pads and all the trucks you have to send down there to go to the opposing facility. But yeah, it's really worth it. And I think Mike McDonald seems to really like it.
A joint practice, I mean, when you snuck that in there, the Oilers at the Tacoma Dome, that alone just tells me there's some history there. But they would let you guys in at the King Dome? Like, that was the only place for you guys to have a joint practice back then, huh?
Yeah. By the way, I was not wearing a leather helmet, but that does age me quite a bit. But yeah, I don't know why. I think there was something going on at the King Dome. Probably some event, an RV show or something. I don't know. But yeah, we ended up going down to Tacoma.
Dave, I want to take a second to talk to you about experts. All right. NFL experts, in fact. Now, these guys have a wide range of predictions for these 2026 Seahawks. Some have the Hawks winning 12 games. Bucky Brooks of the NFL Network has gone the other way. He has the Hawks finishing 7-10. What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Bucky, I've always agreed with him because, he's an NFL guy. I know he's worked in some front offices and everything, but that's kind of how we got done last year, right? I mean, I think the over-under was I think it was 172, or no, that was a different stat. I'm trying to remember. I think we were 70-1 favorites to win the Super Bowl last year. And I think the over-under was around 7 or 8 games, which, I can't believe I didn't go to Vegas or the Muckleshoot and, do something about that. But yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know why they're being disrespected the way they are. And look, I think it's fine. I don't think Mike's going to play up the disrespected card or anything like that. But I do think that it does kind of motivate the players a little bit. That, hey, did you see what they're saying? 15-2. I mean, honestly, I think they're going to be way closer to what Nick Shook predicted there than they are to Bucky Brooks. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's always some kind of a fall off after Super Bowls, but that seems pretty drastic to fall down to 7 wins. Meanwhile, Rams legendary defensive lineman Aaron Donald is 35 years old. He's been retired for 2 years, but since the Rams traded for Myles Garrett, Donald has contemplated coming out of retirement. Do you think he will? And honestly, do you think you could at that time?
Oh, well, I thought I could. That's for sure, but there's no chance. The best thing, I mean, I think you always think that you can play, and you saw that with Phillip Rivers this year. For me, I think I kind of had to fall out of shape because I was still in good shape when I was, the year or two. I spent 2 years trying to get back in the NFL, and then finally realized that it was over. But yeah, Aaron Donald, though, he is such a different animal. I mean, I don't know if he can go out and be as close to as effective as he was, since he's been out of the game for a few years. But he is one of those special guys. I've never seen an interior defensive lineman like him and get the numbers that he gets. And he seems to always be in shape. So, yeah, this one's kind of like Bucky Brooks' prediction. I don't really know. I think I probably mostly think that he can come back and be, and I don't want to say, 15, 16 sacks or anything like that, but he could come in and be a problem. And so if that's the case, then you got him and Myles Garrett and Kobe Turner. I mean, you got some real studs on that defensive lineman, especially if Aaron Donald's able to compete at a high level.
Well, elite athletes always think they can compete, right? It doesn't matter how long we sit out, we think we can step back in. But that's the thing about reality and delusion. Sometimes it doesn't go hand in hand. But tell us real quick about the difference between being in shape, which he probably obviously is, but being in football shape.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to get into football shape other than playing football. There's so many, and I always say this because when you train, your brain knows, okay, I'm about to bench press or I'm about to do, run a 40, whatever. When you get into a football, practice and everything, not the drills, but the games and everything, your eyes are taking you everywhere. And it's like your body isn't even ready sometimes and that's where that soreness comes from, is when your eyeballs are taking you around the field, you're doing different moves and different things that you've trained for. You can only do so much of that in the off season and in the weight room that you get into. And then, the collisions and everything, your neck is going to get sore. It just is. So, yeah. And I think that the NFL, I think Mike does a pretty good job with the physicality part of it, of, keeping it fairly low. But I still think, especially for offensive and defensive linemen, man, you have to have those high contact scrimmages and, practices and everything. But yeah, that's one thing. You can get in as good at lifting shape and running and all that, but you're going to get sore because of all those hits and your eyeballs taking you all around the field.